we're going to address the issue of sometimes the lever is sticking on the tank lever, and you're being unable to move them at all. This is what you have to do when that happens.
So we did a lot of riding, got really dirty, and the levers are very stuck in four-wheel drive and in diff lock now. This one is somewhat able to come out, but it's more difficult than it should be. This one is very stuck in four-wheel drive.
But we've had this situation before where they were totally locked in and we couldn't move them at all. Isn't that right?
Right.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about?
We're talking about here. So the way to fix this is very simple. It just needs to be cleaned, but it needs to be moved as you're cleaning it. You need to be wiggling the lever with the little bit of play that it has as you're spraying it with the hose. You don't want to clean it.
And even if it doesn't have any movement,
you want to spray it you want to be trying to move it as you're spraying it.
Okay, that's
because you need to get the dirt off of the retaining pins that are inside these levers that lock into the grooves on the tank lever here. You need to get the dirt off of those. In order to do that, you need to be spraying water on it as you are trying to move it. That's what will knock the water off.
So the key thing is you have to be sure of moving them, attempting to move them a little bit at a time to finally break it loose. That's the idea?
That's the idea.
Okay.
All right. So get this dirt off that I have here. All right. So I am spraying it as I'm trying to move it back and forth, getting water underneath the lever. It's very stuck. Getting it underneath both sides here, and there we go. And that gets it out. And then once it is out, clean off the spots that the retainer pins pop into. Move it back and forth a bunch of times as you're spraying it off to get the dirt off of the pins that are inside this lever, the pins that pop into place. Then go back all the way into lock, and you should be able to pop it out again. And do that a few times with both levers to clean it off very well.
The key to this is that you keep moving it back and forth as you're doing it?
Yes, as you are spraying it off.
And then what about the lithium grease? What do you do
after
then?
you get them free and clean? After you get them free and clean and you're able to move them, you then want to spray them with some white lithium grease. After it's dry, spray it with some white lithium grease. That will allow everything to slide very good.
But you also keep moving it back and forth when you have the lithium grease on it?
Yes, to soak everything with that.
Right, to continue moving it back and forth while you're spraying the lithium grease.
Right, if you do this, if you clean it off well after you ride, it'll never get stuck. You won't ever have that situation where it's stuck completely if you clean it off before, after every ride like this. And if you go on very long rides, you know, full day rides, you spray with a little lithium grease before, and you will never have the problem of it getting stuck in completely where you cannot get it out.
Okay, good.